What is up, everybody? It is your boy Phil Shocker, the United States Joke here with our Week 5 Team Builder PMC. And we're kind of going into a tough matchup here, ladies and gentlemen. We are going against Manbird here, and as a recorder, I do not know if Manbird is still viable for the playoffs. I have not played my Week 4 game yet. As of recording this video, I will play my game on the 12/11. On that day, which will be a Friday, I will be playing that game. So we will know then if I have won. Now, so you see the WC Winter Cup thing. I'll go into that. We'll just talk about that stuff a little bit later. But I am very nervous. This is I thought was gonna look like a good match, but I think I got this matchup in the point where I've kind of gonna make my opponent or team kind of over prep for something. So, but yeah, we're going against Manbird. Excuse me. I don't know why I'm tired. Like I said earlier, we are currently, until we have played our game, we are now 2-1. So we're looking really good for playoffs. We just gotta be very, very careful how we handle things. But let's look over Manbird's team. Manbird's team. Oh, before we get into that, if you guys are new here, definitely hit that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new. Join the Full Shocker crew today because you'll be feeling with the king of the crew. So let's go ahead and let's just get it. So we are going against Manbird, like I said, and his team consists of Tangela, Primarina, Urshifu Single Strike, Garchomp, Avalugg, Nihilego, Talonflame, Tauros, Bronzong, and Luxray. Looking at this matchup, I do not think Luxray comes. Luxray doesn't really match up that strongly versus my team. Bronzong kind of can come, but it doesn't really beat a whole lot on my team. It could come as a Levitator and could kind of be a little bit annoying versus my team. But other than that, I don't think Bronzong's really that much of a problem versus my team in that type of regard. And actually, I will change probably one move on my Mons just to be safe on something. But Tauros is something potentially he could bring, but I think he's going to be preparing for me to bring Sand versus him, seeing as Sand gives me complete, utter speed control versus him. But he also could potentially believe that they'll bluff that I'll bring Sand, and I won't bring it, so there's that as well. But also, I think Talonflame has a very decent chance to come if it is Flame Body Talonflame, which I honestly think he needs to run versus me. It's better coverage and a better option versus me as well, but excuse me. I don't know why I'm so tired. But other than that, Talonflame could potentially be the entire case. He also wants to be Gale Wings, but again, has to be careful because I do have a couple of Stealth Rockers, and might force him to bring Heavy Duty Boots with Flame Body and something like that. He does need to be careful of any potential Scarfers on my team as well, which again could be another reason he may or may not want to bring Talonflame. But Talonflame can be coming if for some reason he wants a Flame Body set, or if he wants a Brave Bird set with Gale Wings. But look at the team I expect him to bring. 100% I am expecting the Tangela. If he does not bring Tangela, and if I had went Sand, he would have straight up lost. This is his only legitimate, realistic answer to Tangela. Like, legitimately. Then he has things like Primarina, which in some retrospect can be an answer, but has to be like max HP, max defense in order to really like avoid being 2A KO'd. So there's something like that. I think Urshifu Single Strike potentially being Roselli Berry or Choice Band-Aid is going to be coming this match, as the speed tier is kind of working in his favor for exactly what he kind of wants to do versus my team. I think Garchomp comes. Garchomp could potentially be his Scarfer of choice this matchup, but again, I don't quite know until kind of. He could also probably not bring a Scarfer in that type of regard as well. I think Avalugg comes. Avalugg's actually kind of annoying for a few of my Mons. And Avalugg is actually something that can actually take a Vicious Rend and then to go for Avalanche to do about roughly close to 60% to my Dracovish. Dracovish is very, very strong, so he has to bring some really good defensive walls. And I think Nihilego, in honesty, is going to be his main Scarfer of choice, because Nihilego matches up really, really well. Like, it matches up decently well against my Buzzwole, matches up decently well against my Sceptile, my Tapu Koko, and just a couple other Mons, my main flying Mons as well. So I feel like if he has it scarfed, he has speed control, making sure that, his scarf is better, because it's going to force some of my Mons to be forced to reach scarf. So looking at this matchup, here's what I decided to bring. I'm bringing my boy Dracovish. Dracovish easily can claim a KO. basically Dragovic's job is to basically weaken down things on his side and just try to win. Now the best thing about me, and as I messed up a nickname, but seeing for me, I have Tapu Koko, and you may be asking yourself, wait, what's that have to do with anything? Well, if you guys don't know, Tapu Koko has access to electric terrain, which therefore means I can get Unburden boost with certain Pokemon. But the main feature that electric terrain gives me is I cannot be put to sleep. So he has to be careful that he may run potentially something like terrain extender, which means with having 8 turns of terrain means his Tangela cannot put things to sleep. Most likely, this Tangela is going to be probably like knockoff Giga Drain, Leech Seed, Sleep Powder set. Probably pretty much physically defensive to kind of beat and annoy my team. So there's that. But overall, Dragovich is going to be running max HP, max attack, basically faster than his defensive mons he wants to bring versus me. Even if we're not faster than some, Vicious Rent's going to still do a heck of a lot. It can basically pick up some KOs. We guarantee live probably 1 or 2 hits from the Helio unless it specs, then we live 1. Revenge that easy with Vicious Rent. Basically, if I even get this Dragovich in, it guaranteed hits with KO. And the best thing about having a Sand team is that I'm gonna kind of pressure him to bring Sandvale Chomp over Roughtskin Chomp. And you might be asking yourself, why that? Because if we bring Sandvale Chomp, he's gonna try to take advantage of the sand. Because in the Pokemon rules, you can take advantage of opposing teams' weather. Just like what happened one time with my opponent. See, I had sand one time, and my opponent was like, okay, I can bring sand versus him. And that's exactly what happens. He then can bring Sandvale versus me, where I can't do too much. And also ignore what you're hearing. It's just me trying to make sure my remote works. But overall, Dragovich kind of just claims a KO. It can 2A KO for almost everything, or 1A KO, everything. Up next, we're bringing Mazaku. Pretty much kind of not exactly the same set, but about semi-same set as last time. We are bringing Sugar Berry again because it's probably one of my best items to go for this matchup. Now, arguably, going for the Kiba Berry might be seeming like the better idea, but I think just generally speaking, this is really what's at. So we are going to be running. I wanted to run something like Sub Roost Calm Mind, but the problem with running that is that without Thunderbolt, I can't. I really can't beat the Nihilego, and I know Nihilego has to come versus me because this is one of the best answers to Nihilego as well. So we're running Calm Mind, Roost, Dazzling Gleam, and Thunderbolt. Basically, this is to get in front of something like Primarina and click Calm Mind. It does invite things like Garchomp. It does invite things like Nihilego. But basically, what this is going to do is, if I can start Calm Minding, Nihilego is not that much of a problem to Tapu Koko. And I can safely roost off any potential damage that I have, unless he goes for a Meteor Beam set. If he's a Meteor Beam set, that is a bit scary and a bit daunting versus us. But in hindsight, it works out for us because then he's not that much of a problem versus me. So that's really good right about that as well. So looking at this, we are now going to bring a Sugar Berry set. Like I said, we're running 96 in HP, max special attack, modest in nature with 160 in the speed. Basically, I'm faster than everything on his team, guaranteed, no questions, no if, ands, or buts. So if I can find out who the Scarfer is, that's going to be really great. If it's Garchomp, it's Garchomp. At +1, I basically can knock that out with a Dazzling Gleam. It's it's just really going to be hard to exactly figure out exactly what I wanted to do versus this matchup. So there's that. But I think Coco can really do well in this matchup. And of course, another one that actually kind of just wins is going to be my... Ooh. Excuse me, guys. I had some food today, and I don't know why, but I'm just... Ugh. Whew. But yeah, we're bringing Geico here with the Electric Seed with Unburden. Gonna make sure I actually did that too in my Week 7 game in RGBL, which is already up. So I actually double checked to make sure I had Snow Warning. I did have Snow Warning first, but then I changed it to make sure I did. So that was that. So we have my Geico Heroes actually been putting in some really good work for us this season. We have Rock Slide, Leaf Blade, X Scissor. Basically, this shuts his team down. If I get one Swords Dance up and we get our Electric Seed pop, at the right moment, if I can get this in against Tangela with my electric terrain up, he loses. straight up will lose because at +2, Rock Slide knocks out Talonflame unless it's Gale Wings. Leaf Blade knocks out everything at +2. The only thing that can maybe take a hit is maybe Garchomp. Other than that, nothing else is going to take a hit. X-Scissor, one-on-one, will always beat the Tangela. And in honest potentials, I can Swords Dance in front of Tangela if I already have my Electric Seed not even in. Because if he knocks off, that activates my Unburden. Because Unburden will activate if speed is level on held item lost. Boost is lost if it switches gets new item slash ability. No, but basically, if I get knocked off, I get my boost. If I get what's it? I get a boost. So I'm pretty much free to do just about anything and everything I really want. So that's really good. So I'm really looking forward to hopefully stepped up. And with this investment, if he's not max special attack, which if he's not, that's really crazy. But if he's not max special attack with the 156 in HP plus the 100 in SPDF, I can live, depending again on investment, I can live one Sludge Wave at full. If I get Stealth Rocks up, I can't live a Sludge Wave no matter what. But basically, again, like I said, if I get this thing positioned correctly where I get knocked off or I get my boost and I get a Swords Dance up, it's basically game. 100%. The only thing that stops me is potentially Bronzong. But again, Bronzong, I think, does not come because Bronzong has terrible matchup versus me. But up next, we're bringing my Scott Steiner here with the good old Roselli Berry this week. It's because more likely his main switch into this thing is going to be Primarina. We are faster than no speed invested Primarina, which I think he has to be bringing for 100 HP, 108 defense, 108 attack, 48 speed, and max special defense. I am running max special defense with no boosted speed up just because of the Rebellion plus my HP. The goal is to hopefully get one bulk up. If we can get one bulk up that you have there, we are running Poison Jab just for the Primarina. Leech Slide is more preferred in this matchup because it handles a bit more of certain things on his team. But again, I think the reason to have it just really kind of puts in the work against some of the things that we really needed to do in this type of matchup. So, but basically, each life is there just to make sure we can kind of 100% beat that Tangela, because Tangela is the most annoying thing on his team that's going to be against us. So, there's that. So, very much important there. I really think Buzzwole can put some good work this week if we can just play him correctly. Another one that can really play us well if we can play this correctly, this set can honestly win. We are running Trick Room, Dazzling Gleam, Earth Power, Ice Beam. Basically, if Tangela comes in on me and wants to activate Giga Drain on me or Knock Off on me, that's fine. If I have Trick Room up, I'm good. Also, I have specifically made this Claydol to be faster in Trick Room versus Tangela. By faster, it means I'm going to be slower. So Tangela will be faster than me outside of Trick Room, but in Trick Room, I will be faster, which is going to be very important in this type of situation. And Claydol honestly can do work. Dazzling Gleam hits both Garchomp and the Urshifu. Ice Beam will hit the Garchomp more, but it's also a way so I can hit the Tangela as well. And then Earth Power is pretty much gone. If he's not Specs Primarina, which again I do not think. Excuse me. I do not think he brings Specs Primarina. If he does not bring Specs Primarina, I can live one hit as long as my Trick Room's up, my Weakness Policy activates, and I can click buttons or something. Plus, if he's chipped down at +2, Earth Power will knock him down and knock him out. And then basically, depending on what he brings in versus me, I can basically do. There is a chance he could run the Sucker Punch on the Urshifu. But again, I think having the Weakness Policy just helps him much better. And there's a decent chance he may not even think about bringing Sucker Punch, because Sucker Punch doesn't really help him too much in this defense, but I have some decently good defensive mons as well, so you never know. But the last mon, we are bringing primarily offensive choice specs Duraludon here with Flash Cannon, Dragon Pulse, Draco Meteor, and I'm going to actually run Dark Pulse. The reason why I'm changing my idea to Dark Pulse is just so in case if for some reason he does bring Bronzong, this can beat Bronzong 1v1 and it cannot beat it back, so which is really good. We are running Modest with max HP, max special attack, 4 in Spadef. Basically, I can only live maybe one hit from most of his mons, but basically Flash Cannon is pretty much free against every single thing on his team. Dragon Pulse is a heck a ton free. Basically, once Primarina is gone, I can drop a Draco, I can just spam Dragon Pulse. But primarily, most of this time in this matchup, as long as I do not see Talonflame and as long as I do not see the Bronzong Flash Cannon, I'm literally just gonna click Flash Cannon, and it either KOs something or it's gonna 2A KO something back. Now, obviously, Garchomp comes in, I can maybe live one Earthquake hit. If Urshifu comes in, I really can't live one hit. Well, potentially I'm counting on investments, but I think Duraludon with Specs is also going to be dealing with. I feel like my Dragons this week are primarily going to just break this game. I see the main way of winning this game with pretty much, hopefully, either with Zaku, Dreidel, Scott, or Geico. Dreidel and Scott can help support break by chip, and then Zaku helps support, and I feel like our main way to win this game is going to be with Geico. If Geico's positioned right and I get that one Swords Dance that I need, this game basically goes in my favor and I can win this game. So if I can position well and I be careful, I can win the game and it's going to be perfectly fine with me. So if we can do it, we can. If we can't, then we could easily just lose this game. So I'm hoping and praying we can win this game. We win this game, we're looking extremely good for playoffs because if I do beat Owen, I do go to 3-1, and if I win this game, I go 4-1, which then means I can actually have a chance to basically win the game, win a playoff opportunity spot. So there's that. So I'm really, really hoping we can win this game, and I would very much like so. So yeah, but yeah. That's gonna be it for this team, brother guys. Leave a like if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new. Join the Fish Sharker crew today because you'll be filled with the king of the crew. But until next time, guys, I'll see you guys next time. Until next time, guys.